starts really. Now you should all understand. Please sit straight. It is the beautiful metaphysical point. When Nachiketa reached the abode of Yama, he found that Yama was not at home. So he waited for him for 3 days without food or water. When Yama returned home, his wife said to him, when a Brahmin comes to your home as a guest, know that a divine being has come. So it is our duty to prepare for his rest, to give him our hospitality. The son of Brahmin has been sitting here. He has not eaten for 3 days. Go and receive him with reverence. It's a beautiful. First time ever somebody is going to the abode of Yama. It is always he comes and chases. Even when he comes, you say no. You try to escape. First time Yama is receiving a guest. First time somebody is going to the Yama's house. That is why Yama is not there. See, he never expected a guest can come to his house. It is always he goes as a guest, uninvited guest. Not even invited guest, uninvited guest. And here, the guy is going as a guest. And next statement, that's a beautiful thing. When Nachiketa reached the abode of Yama, he found that Yama was not at home. This has got a deep metaphysical meaning. As long as you are afraid of death only, death will be there as a villain. How you visualize death? Tell me. With a big moustache, black buffalo, and big pasa rope, and a fat body, and sitting on a buffalo, shouting and coming. As long as you are afraid of death, he looks like a villain. And the moment you have a courage to face him, you don't find death. That is what it means. You don't find death as you are afraid of him. As long as you are afraid, you find him as a terrifying thing. As long as you try to escape from him, he is a terrifying villain. The moment you get the courage and face him, go towards him, first thing, you will not find death. It means what? You will not see Yama as you expected. He will not be there like a villain. He will be there like a host. Villain becoming host. Understand? The next statement says, Yama's wife is telling him, go and receive. A Brahmin is waiting for you. When a Brahmin guest is there, you should receive him with reverence. In the East, guest is respected as a god. The taking care of the guest is considered as a highest virtue. That's why they say, Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Aditi Devo Bhava. Mother is God, father is God, Guru, Acharya is God, Aditi, guest is God. Aditi means, you should understand, the man who comes without telling the tithi of his coming. Not the man who gives a ring and tells you, not the man who sends an email, fax, telegram, and then he lands. He is not Aditi. Aditi means who simply comes without informing. So guest is considered as a god. Here, Emma has got a guest. The commentary, Bhashya says, let me repeat this sutra and then Nachiketa goes and sits there 3 nights without eating food or drinking anything. 3 days and 3 nights. Yama was instructed by the wife and servants to go and receive him. Yama immediately rushes. Oh, I never expected somebody will come as a guest to my house. He ran to receive him. Yama went to Nachiketa and said, Oh Brahmin, you are an honored Aditi, an honored guest. You have stayed at my house for 3 days without food. Therefore, please forgive me. You can ask for 3 wishes from me for each one night. See, first scene, the Yama is not found. Means what? You don't see him as you expect him. He is not there as a villain. Next thing, you are seeing a host, loving host who receives you. Understand? If you are afraid of death and escape from it, he will chase you. If you face him and go into him, go towards him, then immediately he will become a host instead of a villain. And then the next scene, not even a host, he becomes a god. I always tell people, if you resist, death will be the end of your life. If you accept, it will be a beautiful experience of your life. If you welcome, he will become a god and guru who gives you the wealth and the spiritual knowledge. Let me explain. You can see the story says that Yama has become a god now. Instead of being a villain, he became a host and he became a god. And he is asking, take 3 boons. Whatever you want, I will give you. Start facing the death. That is what it means. Don't be afraid of it. Go into the death. I always used to tell in the ASP, for death meditation, this is the basic idea. Nachiketa says, O Yama, as the first of three wishes, I ask that my father Uddalaka may become peaceful, joyous and free from sorrow and anger when I am sent back to him by you. May he receive me lovingly as his son. See the guy. The father has done all sorts of bad things for him. The worst thing which can be done to a son is go and die. Let you die. That is the best. That is the worst thing you can do. The father has done this type of thing. But what son is asking? O Yama, as the first of the 3 wishes, I ask that my father Uddalaka may become peaceful. You see, he is asking, let him become peaceful. Why? He is violent because he himself is not peaceful. Once he becomes peaceful, then all his violence will disappear. I always tell you, only a masochist can be a sadist, and a sadist can be a masochist. If you are torturing yourself, only then you will torture others. If you are torturing others, you will torture yourself also. Because with the same weapon only you handle yourself and others. Don't think you have 2 minds. You have only 1 mind. With that 1 mind only you handle yourself, you handle others. If you are having harsh words to use upon others, you will use the same harsh words only to use upon yourself. Visualize, if you are having all sorts of bad words to throw upon others when they do mistake, you will use the same words when you feel guilty on yourself. If you have done some mistake, you will use the same sharp words on yourself unconsciously. Anger and guilt is one and the same, because the same knife you are using upon the other and upon yourself. So masochist only can be a sadist, and sadist only can be a masochist. Here he is asking, let him become peaceful. Let him become peaceful, joyous and free from sorrow and anger. When I am sent back to him by you, may he receive me lovingly as his son. Yama replied, seeing you returning from the mouth of the death, your father, Uddalaka, inspired by me, will receive you and recognize you as his son. He will be freed from anger and grief and will spend the rest of the days and nights of his life in peace and joy. It's the first boon is given. The second boon, having had his first wish granted, Nachiketa says, O Lord, in heaven there is no fear. Even you, death, are not there. There none are afraid of old age. Those living in heaven are beyond hunger and thirst. Free from all suffering, they are in bliss. O Lord of death, you know the inner fire which is the path to heaven. So tell me, a sincere seeker, the signs of the inner fire, the signs by which those who are in heaven attain to deathless This is my second wish. He is asking the way to reach the heaven. The meditation technique to reach the heaven. He says inner fire means the meditation technique. Outer fire is sacrifice. Inner fire is meditation technique. He is asking the way to reach the immortal state. It is actually the way to live in etheric body. Physical body will die. Etheric body can never die. It can live forever and ever. So he is asking, please give me a technique to reach the etheric level. So Yama said, O Nachiketa, I know the science of the inner fire which bestows heaven. I will tell it to you so that you may understand it completely. Know that this science will give boundless heavenly joy. This fire is hidden in the innermost sanctum of your heart. Yama then explained the science of the inner fire to Nachiketa, the science which bestows heaven. He explained in detail all the process involved. Having understood it, Yama repeated the details back to Yama, and Yama was satisfied. Nachiketa gives the Yamadharma gives the technique, and Nachiketa understands and repeats the whole thing back to Yama, and Yama was satisfied. This is the way in the ancient time the teaching is done. The disciple will be made to repeat so that Yama will understand whether the disciple understood properly or not. Here something is missing. What? What is missing?
Technique.
Technique is missing. Why?
It's not everybody is worthy of receiving the technique unless you're in a state of Nachiketa.
Not only that, the science underlying this technique is kept as a secret. Actually, the technique is explained in a 3 different way in this very Upanishad itself. But only a man who is enlightened, who has gone deep into the meditation, can understand what Nachiketa, what the Yamadharma means by the inner fire. I don't bother about qualifications. There are 2 kinds of training, understand. One is training the disciple, filtering. From 5,000 they will choose only 5 and then initiate. Mine is, I initiate all 5,000. In course of time I train, and whomsoever drops, let them drop. It's like a first kind is, beginning itself they filter everything. Only few are given. Second thing, everybody is initiated. In course of training, whomsoever drops, they drop. Whomsoever continues, they continue. I go for second type. Why? I feel that everybody should be given a chance. Who are we to judge whether they are qualified or not? Who are we to judge whether they are qualified or not? We cannot judge. We are nobody to judge. Let us give opportunity to everyone. Whomsoever wants to survive, let them survive. Whomsoever wants to catch, let them catch. Other people, let them drop. Now let us have, the beauty is, this technique is preserved just from mouth to mouth. It is never written. They never brought this into record. It is always maintained mouth to mouth. From master to master, master to master, this technique is preserved.
Death is not there at all. So does that mean that...
Suicide.
No.
Suicide is not facing death. It is escaping from life.
No, I'm not talking about suicide. The whole concept of death, that means there's nothing like death.
Yes, there is nothing like death. It is just the growth. You never die. The problem is, after the death, you do not know the connection. After that, what happens? You do not know the connection. That is why you start suffering. That is the reason you start suffering. Actually, the whole thing continues. The man who understands the whole thing continues is enjoying. And the doctors say, who are working in the medical field, they say, every part of our body dies once in 6 months, once in a year, once in 2 years. Every part has got certain lifespan, it gets rejuvenated. The new part comes. You are not worried about that. And after some 5 years or 6 years, you are totally new. Not even one cell is old. Everything is new. Are you bothered about that?
So that means just the thought that we are growing old gives us all these wrinkles and whatever. Because otherwise
Surely.
we should be fresh every...
One thing, there's a book called Ageless Body and Timeless Mind. He has done research on these Tibetan monks who live 300 years. And actually, scientists also agree, all the parts of our body is made for 300 years. It is only our idea, mainly the death, fear stroke.